Hello friends, welcome back to the Mothership. Today we're smoking up a picanha just like a brisket, shredding it up, and then we're using it to make our very own barbecue style onigiri. Let's get started. Now, here is our meat. This is a top sirloin cap, also known as the picanha. Is this overkill for what I'm doing? Yep. Is it probably a crime, or should be a crime? Probably. My intention was to use a packer brisket, but the store did not have any. And as far as brisket flat, well, this was on sale. This top sirloin cap was on sale and was actually cheaper than a brisket flat. So that's what we're going with. Now in general, guys, you know the drill. You're going to cut these into steaks, but that's not what we're doing here. We're going low and slow like a brisket. You could take off this entire fat cap. Honestly, what I've found, because I've done this before, once you get it down to cut into slices, taking the fat cap off is very easy at that point. So I'm going to leave it on. What I am going to do is just cut kind of strips, trying not to go through the meat. And we're going to do like a little cross stitch type thing. As far as meats, guys, I'm looking for like a brisket. So tri-tip, if you want to go that route, just straight up brisket. Brisket flat. You could do chuck roast. You could really do all of the above. Those would all work. But I want it to be almost choppable, but nice and tender. Perfect. Now, as far as seasoning, I'm going pretty standard here. I am going to mix it up slightly. I'm going to start with some black pepper, just to get that nice bark. I'm going to add some garlic powder. And you'll notice we did not add salt at the start this time around, because I'm going to go with Lawrys seasoning. And we are just going to go coat this sucker down. And then the side that really matters here. Perfect. And that is good to me. Now at this point, it is early in the morning, which means I'm going to get my smoker up and running, and we're going to toss this bad boy on. Going to be using the pellet smoker today, which means we're going to start at 180 degrees, get as much smoke flavor on there as possible. Probably run it for 2 or 3 hours at that temp. Just get the smoker up and running. Stick a probe in there and let it just do its thing for a couple hours. Also worth noting, I am using my pellet smoker, which has heat coming from the bottom, so I'm going to put the fat cap down. That'll protect the meat. And we're off. Like I said, fat cap down. I'm just going to run this, again, like I said, about 180 for several hours. It's kind of windy out, so hopefully you can hear me. I'm running it on post-oak, nothing crazy. Gonna let it just do its thing, not even bother with it, until I bump it up to a working temperature. That'll be 2 or 3 hours from now. 4.5 hours in, and this hunk of meat has officially hit the stall. We have been sitting at about 175 for a bit now, so I think what I'm gonna do is give it the old brisket treatment. How much it's ballooned up there, that's crazy. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it inside. I'm going to get some peach paper out, a little Wagyu beef tallow, toss it on there. And then I'm going to fold it up and put it back on. That should get it through there and bring us to the finish line, which will be like a brisket when it probes tender, somewhere north of 195 probably. But inside I go, get it wrapped up, and we'll bring it back out and throw it back on the smoker. Multiple hours later, and now our meat is done. I think it's time to get it out of here and see how we did. Now when I took it out of, when I took it off the grill, or the smoker, excuse me, what I did was I just put it on top of tin foil because it was starting to leak a little bit, and I put it in my toaster oven about 140 degrees just to let it rest. You could have used a cooler, you know, your standard keeping your meat nice and warm and letting it rest that you would do with a brisket. Well, what's important now is to see how we did. Oof, yeah, it's really coming out of there. Jeez. Must have messed up my wrap somehow, but let's get it out. Let's cut her up. Let's move on with this meal. Oh boy. Yeah, that'll do. Here is our picanha. And it looks pretty darn good to me. But let's cut it off and let's see how we did. I mean, look at that smoke ring. That looks beautiful to me. Obviously, I'm not cutting this up to eat it as is, but we've got it here. We may as well take a taste and just see how we did before we move on with making our onigiri. Looks good. Little chomp. Yeah, you can't beat that. Man, that's delicious. Here's what it looks like on the side. Beautiful smoke ring. Perfect looking cook. Nice and fatty. I'm not going to squeeze it, but there's a lot in there. Looks great. I'm going to cut this up. Again, this is sacrilegious for this beautiful cut of meat, but it is what it is. What we want is we want it to actually be kind of shredded, so I'm going to cut it into slices and probably cut those even smaller. Because when they go into our rice balls, we need a very small amount. So I'm going to slice this up now. This is a great time to start making your rice. The type of rice that you want to use, guys, is going to be short grain white rice. You can probably find it in like the Japanese or I guess the international section of your grocery store. And if not, you can definitely find it online. But short grain rice is what you want. It's going to be that sticky rice, kind of that sushi type of rice. It's exactly the correct type of rice for this. You want it to be sticky. You want it to all stick together. But let me get this sliced up, start our rice, and we'll come back when it's actually time to assemble these little rice balls. Okay, I've got everything all chopped up. I've got my rice done. It's time to assemble this onigiri. So what I've done is I've dampened up my hand. I'm going to put a little bit of salt on it. And then what I'm looking for is about a half cup of rice. So something like, oh, this rice is still way too hot. Oh boy. All right, that was nice and warm. It's cooled off a little bit. So what I've done is I've gotten about a half cup full in my hand. I'm going to flatten it out a bit. Make a nice little pocket in there. Really should let this cool a little bit more because it is kind of burning me, but we're going to play through it, guys. So I want to get a nice pocket, just like so. Then I'm going to take some of our steak here. I want to do about a tablespoon's worth, not too much, just like that. Now at this point, you can do whatever you want. You could put other flavors. You could blast with some sauce of some sort. I'm going to put a little bit of Japanese barbecue sauce in there. Just a little bit. And we just want to cover it up. Like so. Now, this is when the Japanese folks are going to yell at me. So traditionally, these come in like a triangular shape. But I'm not that good at making them like that. So I'm just doing a ball, just like so. This is what I'm going to do. A lot of times, like I said, it's going to be like a triangle or it's going to be like a cylinder type thing. But I think for me and my Americanness, that's good enough right there. Now also a lot of times, which I usually don't do, but I'll do it here for tradition's sake, they put a little thing of nori, which is seaweed on there. This is just the sushi stuff. If you can find the sushi rice in your grocery store, it's probably right next to it. Something like that. Give it something to hold on to. And then sometimes I hit it with some furikake, which is like an all-purpose Japanese seasoning. It's got some nori in there, but they hit the rice with that as well. So this is kind of the everything in one package, this little guy right there. But that looks pretty good to me for one. Let's do a couple more. I'm not going to go crazy here. I'm going to make the rest when my wife is back here and we're about to eat. But I'll make one or two more and then we'll see how we did. Now, onigiri is Japanese, and spoiler alert, I am not Japanese and I don't speak Japanese. So if you are a native speaker, I apologize for butchering your language. But I do love your food, and specifically these rice balls are fantastic. Now, usually when you're getting these, you're getting them with some sort of fermented fish or vegetables in there, although they kind of range the gamut, there's all kinds of stuff. But I wanted to take a really good food, which is the rice balls, and then add a little bit of barbecue flavor to it. So my original goal was to use a brisket. Couldn't find a brisket. Found a really nice picanha. Smoked that sucker up, and trust me, this is absolutely delicious. I've been munching on it pretty heavily while I've been making these, to be completely honest. So when that beef was done, I cut it all up, made some sushi rice. Then we took our sushi rice, about a half cup's worth, flattened it, put our meat in the center, hit it with a little bit of barbecue sauce. This is the Japanese barbecue sauce. I'll link all this stuff down below. Then we folded it into a ball. Like I said, traditionally, they're like kind of a triangle type thing. If you're better at sculpting than I am, you probably can make them pretty easily. I know they sell molds and all that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, it's just a rice ball. Make it into a ball, fill it with what you want and eat it. It's kind of the rule of thumb in my head. I also hit some of them with some furikake, which is just a nice seasoning. And then I'm probably going to dip it in some kupai mayo, which is really good stuff. You also got to add some sriracha to that and make a spicy mayo. But the proof is going to be in the pudding here, and I want to just see how this is because I am starving. So this is the first one that we did. As you can see, it's got your nice sushi rice. It's got a nice little bit of nori on the outside and a little bit of our seasoning. And I think it's time to give it the old-fashioned chomp. Oh yeah. That's the bite from the side. You can see there's all of our delicious meat in there. Yeah, it looks great. It is kind of falling apart right now, so I'm going to have to eat the whole thing. Man, that was very good. All those flavors really come together well. You've got the savoriness of the meat. You've got the rice. We've got the seasoning, has a little bit of umami flavor in there. You've got the barbecue sauce. I didn't even need to dip it in some mayo. These are really, really good, guys. If you have never tried this type of food before, it's really not that difficult. You probably have rice in your kitchen, even if it's not sushi rice. You should give this one a try, absolutely. Now, I will have all of this stuff that you might not have in your kitchen down below. You can get it all on Amazon. It's not that expensive. It's just imported stuff, but most of it's made in the United States. You can probably get it pretty cheap. It includes your rice, your multi-seasoning. But I really, really highly recommend it, guys. This is absolutely fantastic. If you've watched this channel for any sort of amount of time, you know that I love Asian food. That includes Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Taiwanese, what have you, Vietnamese. It's all good to me. I like most food from around the world, but I really do love Japanese food. And these are really, really good, guys. You're adding that barbecue flavor to it, some smoke to what's already been a traditional great meal. Highly recommend it. But I would love to hear from you guys down below. Do you guys make anything like this? Have you ever done onigiri? Do you use it with fish? Do you make your own? Are you from Japan, or do you just have a really good culinary background and you do it a whole lot better than me? And do you have recommendations on how I can do it better? I'd love to hear from you guys all down below. But most importantly, get out there and cook something absolutely fantastic. And I apologize for butchering such an amazing cut of meat. And I'll catch you on the next UFO barbecue. Bye-bye.